Hey there, and welcome to HisTime365. I'm so glad you're here for day 99 of our 365-day journey through the Bible. Today, we'll look at 2 Kings 7 through 9, and I'll walk you through what happens, what it means, and why it matters. I'll share a summary and some insights to help you see the big picture and connect with the heart of the scripture. During your quiet time, I encourage you to read today's lesson in a Bible translation that speaks to you best. Now grab a quiet moment, take a deep breath, and let's spend a few minutes giving God His time. The Unexpected Deliverance, Lessons from 2 Kings 7 through 9. Imagine a city under the weight of a terrible famine where hope seems lost and the only sound is the gnawing of hunger. This is the setting for our story in 2 Kings chapter 7 through 9. Where we see God's miraculous intervention that transforms despair into joy. The narrative opens in a besieged Samaria where desperation has taken hold. The people are suffering from such severe hunger that they are resorting to unimaginable acts, even contemplating extreme measures. 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 28 through 29. As the city languishes, the prophet Elisha speaks a bold message of hope. He proclaims that by the next day there will be an abundance of food, enough for everyone, and that the prices will plummet. A royal officer scoffs at this proclamation, doubting its feasibility, but Elisha assures him that he will see it with his own eyes, though he won't partake in the feast. 2 Kings chapter 7, verses 1 through 2. Meanwhile, outside the city, 4 lepers sit at the gate, contemplating their terrible fate. They realize that staying put means certain loss from hunger, and if they venture into the Aramean camp, they might meet the same fate there too. But there's a glimmer of hope. Perhaps they will be shown mercy. Bravely, they decide to take their chances and head into the camp. What they find is astonishing. The Aramean army has fled, leaving behind a wealth of supplies and food. 2 Kings chapter 7, verses 5 through 7. The lepers devoured the food and gathered treasures, but soon realized they could not keep such good news to themselves. They rushed back to the people in Samaria who initially doubted their story. However, upon verification, the people pour out of the city to the Aramean camp and find it all true. The famine ends and food abounds as Elisha had foretold. The royal officer who doubted Elisha's word ends up being trampled in the chaos at the city gate, fulfilling the prophet's warning. 2 Kings chapter 7, verse 17 through 20. As we move into chapter 8, we see Elisha continuing his ministry. He's approached by the woman whose son he had once raised to life. She follows Elisha's advice to leave the land due to a coming famine and returns after 7 years. Upon her return, she finds her property taken, but through Elisha's earlier connections, she is restored to her land and her possessions. 2 Kings chapter 8, verses 1 through 6. This reinforces the theme of God's providence and care even in difficult times. Next, we encounter the rise and fall of kings in Israel and Judah. Elisha anoints Jehu as the king over Israel, commanding him to put an end to the house of Ahab, who had led the nation away from God. 2 Kings chapter 9, verses 1 through 10. Jehu fulfills this mission with zeal, demonstrating that God's judgment can also serve as a means of cleansing and restoring faith in a nation plagued by corruption. The narrative crescendos with Jehu's decisive actions against the worshippers of Baal. He cleverly lures them into a trap, claiming he wants to offer sacrifices to Baal. Once they gather, he orders their removal, effectively eliminating the influence of idolatry from Israel. 2 Kings chapter 10, verses 18 through 28. His actions highlight the serious consequences of turning away from God and the importance of returning to Him wholeheartedly. In our modern lives, we can draw parallels to the themes in this passage. Let's consider a few practical examples. Workplace challenges. Imagine facing a tough situation at work where layoffs loom and morale is low. Just as the lepers took a chance to seek their fortune, sometimes we must step out of our comfort zones, taking calculated risks to seek new opportunities or advocate for change. Family struggles. If your family is going through a challenging time, much like the famine in Samaria, remember that hope can come from unexpected places. Sometimes it's the least likely person who brings a solution, just as the lepers did. Stay open to possibilities and trust in the journey. Financial hardship. Picture someone in a financial crisis, feeling trapped by debt or expenses. The story reminds us that provision can come when we least expect it, just as God provided for Samaria through the lepers. Perhaps seeking help or guidance can lead to unexpected resources. Mental health. For those battling feelings of despair or isolation, remember the importance of reaching out. Just as the lepers found hope in their action, taking steps to connect with friends, family, or professionals can lead to renewed hope and support. Digital life. In an age of social media, many feel pressure to present a perfect life. The story teaches us the value of authenticity over appearances. Jehu was unyielding in his mission, and sometimes we need to be real about our struggles and pursue what truly matters rather than getting lost in the noise. Through these narratives, we learn that God's plans often surpass our understanding. In times of crisis, He can bring deliverance in unexpected ways. The end of the famine in Samaria wasn't just about food, it was about restoring hope and faith among the people. Takeaway: God can turn our darkest moments into testimonies of hope and deliverance. How can we cultivate a spirit of hope in challenging times, similar to the leper's journey? What are some ways we can stay faithful to God amidst societal pressures and distractions? And what areas of our lives do we need to take bold steps of faith, trusting in God's provision? Thanks so much for joining me today for HisTime365. Remember, today's reading is 2 Kings 7 through 9, so be sure to spend some time with those verses during your quiet time. Tomorrow, we'll be diving into 2 Kings chapters 10 through 13, so feel free to read ahead if you'd like to prepare. If you enjoyed this time together, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell so that you never miss a day on this journey. I'll see you right back here tomorrow for day 100. Until then, stay encouraged, and thank you for giving God His time.